Hi there, boys and girls. This is Kyle, and we're going to be doing some online stuff today. I thought I'd start off just obviously Hannah had given her kind of competition last week, and we're going to be running that over the course of the month. And so what I thought I would do is just give us a wee, so kind of wee basic kind of topics and things like that on how to develop our ideas, and then I'll also do another one on kind of the more some technical aspects of writing as well. And how to improve your writing and things like that. But first of all, I thought the best thing to do was to start with just a wee kind of lesson on developing our ideas and how to take our ideas and really make them into a story itself. How do we do that? How do we take a wee idea we have in our head and how do we then make that into an actual story that we've then written ourselves? And how are we going to do that? So this is what we're looking at here, is developing our ideas. Here's a wee man. He's got a wee idea. He's a wee light bulb head. Alright, so the beginning of an idea. This is the very basic thought that you have and you want to develop further into an idea. This is your initial thought for the story. It can be as detailed or vague as you like. And the important thing is that you have somewhere to start. So first of all, you need to just kind of use your imagination and think of what would you like the story to be about. I can't tell you what to write. That's kind of up for you, and that's where you get your imagination to kind of to run wild and do whatever you want with. So here I've got just some wee examples, and then I'm going to use these examples to then show how we develop that from just a wee kind of simple idea into something that's a bit more complex and something that is an actual story. So the three examples I've got here is the world is made of sweeties. Pretty basic. Kind of stole that off Eva a wee bit because she's done the world is chocolate. Everyone wakes up one day with a hat. Just thought that was quite a bizarre kind of topic. I thought that would be quite funny. And then Jim wants a glass of water. That's my classic example of a story that doesn't necessarily need to be super exciting or crazy or out there. Just really basic. Somewhat character wants something. There we go, and we'll see how we can kind of develop that further, and we can maybe make that into something crazy, or maybe not, or just whatever. But we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of improvising this a wee bit as well, so to kind of demonstrate how you would do it in the situation. So how do we take an idea and turn it into an actual story? This is then the next big step, the most difficult part of writing. It's easy to have an idea, but how do we then turn that idea into a piece of writing? That's really the big thing here. So there's three kind of main things that you want to consider when you're doing that, and these three main things are going to be what helps you then turn that into something that's just an idea, into something that is an actual story. So those three things are character, setting, and plot. Okay, what do we mean by that? The character is the characters that are in the story, the setting is where the story takes place, and the plot, of course, is the things that happen in the story. Alright, that might seem fairly obvious, but these are the three things that we really need to have a good idea of what they're going to be before you can really turn an idea into a story. You need to have these three things kind of nailed down, first of all. Okay, so if we're then looking at the kind of examples that we came up with and how we're then going to take that further and how we're going to develop that. Okay, so when we think about how our ideas translate into character, setting, and plot, some of that might be answered for us in the initial idea. Sorry, so this is kind of just the examples that we have. Some of these setting, plot, character, some of these things are already worked out for us in the actual initial idea that we have. So the world is made of sweeties. Well, we've got a setting already. The setting is the world. The world is going to be not as we know it. It's going to be a world that is made of sweeties. That's the setting. Okay. For everyone wakes up with a hat. Well, we've got a plot there. We know what happens in that story. So everyone wakes up one day, and everybody's got a hat. So that's what happens in the story. That's kind of laid out for us already in the idea. We have our character. That's the last one. Jim wants a glass of water. Well, we've got the character of Jim. Jim is the person who wants the water. We've got that kind of worked out there initially, but obviously, for all of those, we don't necessarily have the other aspects of that worked out. For the one that we've got the setting worked out for, we don't necessarily have the plot, what's going to happen, or the characters that are involved in the story. For everyone wakes up with a hat, well, we don't have the specific characters there, we don't have the specific setting, where is it happening, etc. So these are the things that we need to then flesh out so that we've got all those three questions answered for each idea. Okay, so how do we expand that then? With an example, some questions about character, setting and plot are already answered, but there is still more to do. We want to expand these ideas further and think of them in terms of a fully realised story. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Now, creating a plan, and I always think that it's good to start off with an initial plan, because that's going to help you then kind of know where you're going with the writing, and that's going to help you really be able to make the story what it is. So Creating a plan is a good way to flesh out our ideas, to answer not just one or two of the questions of setting, character and plot, but all of them, all three. A good way of doing this is asking the 5 W's, and this is something I've spoken about before. So your 5 W's are who, where, what, when, and how. Or, what's the last one? Oh, I'm covering that up with my phone, and why. It's the last one. I think I'll move the phone over a wee bit. There we go. The camera. There we go. So, they are kind of 5 questions, and we want to have all of those questions answered, and then that's going to let us develop our story further, okay? So I've got a wee thing here, all right, and we're just going to run through it, and it's these 5 questions, and we're going to answer them for each kind of story idea that we've got, and I'm just going to show you what I mean by kind of fleshing out a wee bit and what that means. So the first one is the world is made of sweeties. Who is involved in that? So what I need to think about is, in a world of sweeties, who is the character that's going to best be able to tell that story? Okay, so there's maybe different things that would be interesting there. What I try and do is think about who would be the most interesting person to be in that situation. All right, maybe it would be someone who hates sweeties, someone who doesn't like sweeties at all. So if the person that hates sweeties woke up in a world of sweeties, then that's immediately creating conflict. It's creating something that's quite interesting. The character's got a kind of a place to go from there. Maybe the first scene is them talking about, oh, I don't like sweeties, and everybody is obsessed with sweeties and they love sweeties, and then they wake up in a world of sweeties and they're like, oh my god, this is my biggest nightmare. Or you do the exact opposite. Then maybe the more interesting thing is to have someone who really, really likes sweeties, who can't get enough sweeties, and so their struggle that they're then met with is that they want to eat everything in the world, because everything's made of sweeties. Okay, so I think for that idea, what I quite like is the idea that the person's grumpy and they don't like sweeties. Okay, so let's say who the person, let's say that it's Johnny, and Johnny hates sweets. Okay, so where is Johnny? Where is Johnny? Johnny is just wherever. He's like in his house, he's with his family, he's with kind of everyone about him. Maybe Johnny's like he's a young boy who kind of lives with his family. So we'll say lives with his family. It's, you know, Coatbridge or Airdrie or whatever. Okay. So the what then becomes what then happens. Where is the story going to go from there? So Johnny doesn't like sweeties. The whole world is sweeties. What's going to happen? He maybe walks down the street. What am I thinking? People are kind of saying, oh, isn't this brilliant, Johnny? This is brilliant. He's like, no, this is rubbish. I don't like this. So Johnny's constantly, you know, everybody's happy, but Johnny is not. And then hopefully what we'd want to do is by the end of the story, like a good way to think about this as well is if you want the character to change. So you want him to, you know, he starts off grumpy and he doesn't like sweeties and whatever. I want Johnny to kind of to be, you know, a nice person at the end. Maybe he doesn't need to like sweeties, but he's not so grumpy. He's not, you know, a big grump. So maybe everybody's happy, but Johnny is not. Johnny learns that sweeties make people happy. That's a good thing. Johnny starts to like sweeties and learns to be happy. What else could happen then? And then maybe, I don't know, and then happy, that's a good thing. Johnny starts to like sweeties and learns to be happy. Let's just say that's kind of the end, is then he becomes maybe like a kind of Willy Wonka-esque characters. He ends up owning a sweetie shop. There's just a kind of general idea of where that might go. All right. Yeah. So there's one idea. I mean, you can do a million things with that. It doesn't need to be that. It could be anything, whatever you think's interesting. That's just a wacky idea of where that's going to go. The next thing is when does it all take place? Well, we'll say it happens in modern times. just for the sake of it. And why does it happen? So why does the world turn to sweeties? Well, that becomes maybe a more interesting question, and that's maybe going to affect the what. So maybe we should make what the last thing that happens. That's a good idea. Learning as we go along. So let's make what be the last thing that happens. Okay, and we'll do that for every single one, because once we've got the other questions answered, that's going to inform the what question a wee bit as well. So let's just quickly do that. Okay, so, and then let's go back. I don't think I've not used my correct grammar there, but you get the idea. So why does all of this happen? Well, maybe Johnny does something like he hits over a wee girl's ice cream or something like that, because he's so mean and so grumpy that he does something like that. So Johnny hits over little girl's ice cream, but little does he know the girl is a witch. And puts a curse on Johnny. That turns the world to sweets. Wow. And then at the end, once he's became happy and he actually realises he loves sweeties, and really the reason that he didn't like sweeties was because, you know, he was kind of grumpy and fed up with his own life, and once he realised that's no excuse to, you know, be mean to other people, then the world returns to normal, and he lives his normal life from there. There we go, and he's learned a wee lesson. Shouldn't be grumpy at other people, because other people are lovely and nice, and we should be nice to people. So there we go. There's maybe the story of Johnny and the world turning to sweeties. Alright, so that's one wee idea there that we can do. Everyone wakes up with a hat one day. Will we go through that as well? We'll do one more. We'll do it for all of them anyway. Everyone wakes up one day with a hat. Who is the person that wakes up with a hat? Who would be an interesting person to wake up with a hat? Alright, so that's the next thing we do. So maybe it's someone who, you know, is bald. There's an idea. So he's happy that everyone's wearing the hat, because now, you know, it's not unusual that he's wearing the hat. It's that people can't just say, oh, you're wearing the hat to cover that you're bald or whatever that is. Maybe who else would be interesting to wake up with a hat one day? Maybe like someone who needs to wear headgear for their job. So maybe like a builder or something, who then he has to put his hard hat on over a big top hat that he's got, but he can't do that. Oh no! So then he ends up maybe losing his job or something like that. Oh, can you see how answering this question then starts to, you know, answer the other questions? What, who, where, when, what the setting's going to be, what's going to happen. So answering these questions informs every other one. So we'll say everyone wakes up one day with a hat. Our person is a magician. Let's say he's a magician. Okay, here's an idea. So he's a magician and he's called Magic Gary. Alright, and Magic Gary has to wear a top hat. Right, so this is the idea I'm having. Magic Gary has to wear a top hat because he's a magician and he needs to pull things out of his hat, like rabbits and such. But now he can't, because he's woke up with what kind of hat could he be wearing instead? He wakes up and he's wearing a bowler hat instead, and the bowler hat's like it's like a weird hat, so he can't, it's not like a big long top hat, so he can't fit things in his hat, and oh no, it's ruined his magic act, because now he always has to wear a bowler hat. Okay, where does this happen? So this can happen wherever. Let's say, you know, just to mix it up a wee bit, let's say it happens in olden times, it happens in the 1800s. He's a magician in the 1800s. There we go. Oh, that's where, sorry, I meant to say when. Happens in the 1800s. Let's say it happens in London. He's from old London town. Why does this happen? Why does suddenly everybody in the world wake up with a hat? Now, here's one thing. You don't necessarily need to explain it. So maybe there's no particular reason. Maybe it's just that is the premise of the world. There's lots of examples in that. There's a very famous the literature, like a really famous, quite like intelligent kind of book that's called The Metamorphosis. And it's about a man who wakes up one day and he's a cockroach, and people don't like him and people aren't sure of him, and he needs to work out, you know, how to kind of navigate his life now as a cockroach. So and it's not explained why it happens, or there's no particular reason. It's not magic or anything like that. It's just that's what happens. So there we go. Why? There's just no reason. It just happens. It happens, and no one knows why. It's just a crazy global event that happens, and that's it. There's no explanation for it. There you go. That's something you can do. And then what happens then? Magic Gary can't do his magic act anymore. Loses his job. Oh, sad Gary. But by the end, he figures out he actually likes, I don't know, something else instead. Something else. Loses his job. Or let's say, but because that happens, because this happens, he meets the love of his life, gets a new, better job, lives happily ever after. Oh, nice story for Gary. It's all got a happy ending there. It's up to yourself what you want to do. I won't go into the last one. Jim wants a glass of water. That's always the kind of thing with Jim. Jim's just a normal guy. Where? In his house. When does that happen? This morning. Why does he want a glass of water? He's thirsty. What happens? So these questions that I've answered here are not really informing the what question, the plot. So then they haven't done the heavy lift, and then it's up to me to then think, oh, what happens there? So he turns on the tap and Iron Brew comes out instead. And he has to figure out why. There you go. Maybe that's something. So yeah, that then leads into a bigger thing. Then that's the maybe that idea then generates itself into something else, and then I need to go back and think, oh well, maybe then that affects these other questions. Why has that happened? Well, what it's no longer why does he want a glass of water, it's why does Iron Brew come out the tap? Iron Brew comes out the tap because the bar factory exploded or something. I don't know. But you know what I mean. That can then generate more ideas, and so that just answering those questions has then got me thinking about my initial story, and then how I can make that bigger, or how that can then develop into other things. And that's just a nice way of taking something quite small and then making it into something a bit bigger. And yeah, so that brings us basically to the end. That's us went through our plan. That's just an idea as to how to kind of develop your ideas, how to take them that wee bit further. I've done this before. If you've been with kind of Make and Create, we've done this kind of thing before. But I thought it's always good just to kind of cover the basics and things like that. And then what I'll do is I'm also going to do another video as well, and we'll do a wee bit more kind of in depth, and we'll do a wee bit on kind of technique and things like that as well. All right. So thanks very much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, thanks very much. And if you've got any kind of questions or anything at all, feel free to leave a comment or to kind of send it through the Facebook page or any of these kind of things. All right. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks. Ta-ra.